What you're hearing is raw electromagnetic radiation data captured by the Cassini spacecraft at Saturn's North Pole. It isn't just white noise. It's the sonic footprint of a magnetic powerhouse, a celestial entity spinning at 35,000 kilometers per hour, warping the very laws of physics in its wake. This force dictates a grim mathematical frontier, the Roche limit, the tipping point where Saturn's tidal gravity overpowers the structural integrity of any celestial body. 100 million years ago, an icy moon wandered into this trap and was torn to shreds. But instead of plunging into the abyss, centrifugal force locked the remains into a skeletal halo of debris. But here's the problem. This system is unstable. Latest observations revealed that Saturn is digesting its own jewelry through a phenomenon known as ring rain. Every single second, 10 tons of matter are being siphoned into the atmosphere by the magnetic field. The most magnificent rings in the solar system are, in fact, committing a slow-motion suicide. Why is it vanishing so fast? And why are we lucky enough to be standing here, right now, to witness its final, dying gasps? As we established, Saturn's radio screams are the pulse of an extreme gravitational and magnetic field. But why does a simple pull possess the power to rip a solid world apart? The answer lies in the differential. Picture an icy moon drifting toward Saturn. According to the laws of gravity, the side facing the planet feels a stronger pull than the side facing away. At a safe distance, this gap only creates tides. But cross the Roche limit, and that gap becomes lethal. The stretching force on the leading face grows so violent it overpowers the internal gravity, holding the moon's molecules together. In other words, the moon doesn't just fall like a stone. It is dismembered in mid-orbit. Data from the Cassini mission points to a name, Veritas. 100 million years ago, this moon may have harbored an icy ocean, until its orbit drifted off course. When Veritas hit the Roche limit, it didn't detonate like a bomb. It was stretched into an ellipse, then it snapped. In a matter of days, a monolithic world transformed into a 100,000-kilometer ribbon of shrapnel. This explains why Saturn's rings are 99% pure ice. This isn't ancient cosmic dust. It is the fresh flesh and bone of an executed moon. So why didn't this debris plummet immediately? Orbital velocity. Every shattered ice crystal retained the frantic momentum of its parent moon, screaming along at 70,000 kilometers per hour. At this speed, centrifugal force pushes outward, perfectly counterbalancing the gravity pulling inward. They are locked in a state of eternal suspension, haunted by the very spot where their mother world died. Saturn didn't just tear a moon apart. It froze the moment of the massacre to create the ring we see today. The balance between centrifugal force and gravity we just analyzed. It's a static illusion. In physics, nothing stands still forever. Especially not when billions of shards from the moon Veritas are drifting through a gauntlet of extreme magnetic fields and radiation. The problem starts with the very nature of this debris. Because these rings are 99% pure ice, they are hypersensitive to solar ultraviolet light. When the sun hits them, these ice particles ionize, taking on a positive charge. Instantly, they cease to be mere players in Newtonian mechanics. They become puppets in the grip of Saturn's colossal magnetic web. This is where the radio screams you heard earlier reveal their devastating power. Saturn's magnetic field isn't just noise. It's a gargantuan funnel. These electrified ice grains are seized by the field, their orbits warped, dragged along spiral paths toward the planet's poles. Scientists call this ring rain. The logic of this self-destruction follows a relentless chain reaction. Ionization. Sunlight transforms ice into charged particles. Loss of momentum. The magnetic field exerts a Lorentz force, sabotaging the 70,000 kilometers per hour orbital velocity that kept them suspended. Decay. As velocity drops, centrifugal force fails. Gravity wins. The result? 10 tons of matter plummet into Saturn's atmosphere every single second. Based on mass loss data from Cassini, the speed of this digestion is staggering. Saturn is devouring an Olympic-sized swimming pool of material every 30 minutes. At this rate, the most magnificent ring system in the solar system will be wiped clean in less than 100 million years, a mere blink of an eye in cosmic time. But the most chilling part isn't that the rings are vanishing. It's where they're landing. When 10 tons of ice slam into the atmosphere every second, they don't just evaporate. This massive influx of water and chemicals is radically altering Saturn's ionosphere, fueling extreme climatic shifts, the monstrous hexagonal storms we see today. We aren't just observing a ringed planet. We are witnessing an entity cannibalizing its own past to feed the superstorms of its present. So, what happens at the final impact point of this ring rain? What bone-crushing pressure awaits beneath those hexagonal clouds, ready to grind the last remains of the moon Veritas into nothingness? When 10 tons of ring rain vanish into the atmosphere every second, they don't just disappear into the void. They become high-octane fuel for the most brutal weather machine in the solar system. To understand why Saturn screams and how it sustains such impossible geometric storms, we must look beneath the amber veil deep into the churning core. Our first stop, the hexagon. This isn't an optical illusion or a cosmic coincidence. It is a perfect hexagonal megastorm, twice the width of Earth, with unnervingly straight edges. Physically, this hexagon is the byproduct of extreme velocity gaps between jet streams. With gases screaming at 1,800 kilometers per hour and no solid surface to provide friction, the vortices self-organize into stable geometric structures. But what haunts scientists is how this flow seems anchored by a titanic upwelling of energy from the planet's depths, where pressure begins to snap every known molecular structure. The deeper we go, the more Saturn's cruelty reveals itself through sheer force. Thousands of kilometers down, hydrogen as we know it ceases to exist. Under millions of bars of pressure, hydrogen atoms are crushed so tightly that electrons are stripped from their nuclei, forging a sea of liquid metallic hydrogen. This is the heart of the beast. This layer of metallic fluid acts as a colossal dynamo. The convective churning of this electrified liquid generates a terrifying magnetic field that enshrouds every moon and ring in its path. The radio screams we record are the raw output of this process, the mechanical roar of an engine grinding matter into pure energy. But in this high-pressure hellscape, there is a phenomenon that turns brutality into ultimate luxury: diamond rain. In the deep layers, pressure cooks methane, stripping carbon and compressing it into raw diamonds that hail down toward the core. But make no mistake, this is no treasure trove. Before any diamond can fully form, temperatures soaring to tens of thousands of degrees melt them into a liquid carbon ocean. Saturn builds nothing to last. It crushes everything, from moons to diamonds, into a state of chaotic flux to fuel its eternal rotation. The existence of Saturn's moons is living proof of a brutal physical schism. Stay just beyond the Roche limit, and matter is granted the chance to create rather than be executed. While the mother planet is busy crushing debris and melting diamonds, a completely opposite script is unfolding just past that deadly frontier. Enceladus is the prime example of this contradiction. A tiny, frozen jewel, yet it erupts with colossal geysers firing pure water into the vacuum of space. Here, the very tidal forces that dismembered the moon Veritas serve as a life-giving furnace. Positioned safely outside the Roche trap, Saturn's pull isn't strong enough to shatter Enceladus, but it is enough to knead its rocky core, generating the friction heat that keeps a liquid ocean swirling beneath the ice. In a strange cosmic loop, the water spewed from Enceladus is seized by Saturn's magnetic field, feeding the E-ring. A moon silently nurturing the very ring system of the giant that nearly crushed it. Further out lies Titan, the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere and rivers of liquid methane. Titan is a dark, frozen mirror of Earth, but its peace is a trade-off. It sits far enough to escape the tidal shredder, yet close enough to be imprisoned within Saturn's lethal radiation belts. Every complex organic molecule on Titan is the byproduct of the radio screams bombarding its atmosphere. A chemical alchemy that many believe is the precursor to life itself. The existence of Enceladus and Titan presents humanity with a haunting paradox. The environments with the highest potential for life sit directly adjacent to the most ruthless meat grinder in the cosmos. This led to the most tragic sacrifice in the history of space exploration: the death of Cassini. In 2017, as the Cassini spacecraft ran dry on fuel, NASA scientists faced an ethical ultimatum. They could not let Cassini drift aimlessly. A rogue collision could contaminate Enceladus with Earth-borne bacteria, forever tainting the search for pristine alien life. NASA issued a final suicidal command: dive into the heart of Saturn. In its final moments, the craft fought against the bone-crushing pressure to transmit one last data stream: the chemical fingerprints of the ring rain falling from above. Cassini wasn't just destroyed. It was vaporized, ionized, becoming a permanent ghost within Saturn's atmosphere. The end of Cassini is the ultimate testament to this planet's logic. To understand the secrets of life and beauty, we must accept destruction. Saturn did not just cannibalize its moons, it swallowed humanity's final messenger, closing a chapter of history. just to keep the flickering hopes on Enceladus untouched. Saturn's rings are more than just a wonder. They are a grim foreshadowing of the Kessler syndrome right here on Earth. The rings are, in essence, a graveyard of density, a zone where any spacecraft daring to cross is instantly obliterated. Earth is currently forging its own Roche limit out of technological waste. Once satellite density hits a critical mass, a single collision will trigger a chain reaction, transforming our orbit into a lethal belt of shrapnel screaming at 28,000 kilometers per hour. Both share the same terminal outcome: imprisonment. Saturn imprisons the corpse of the moon Veritas in a gravitational loop before slowly digesting it. The Kessler syndrome will imprison humanity beneath our own atmosphere, turning space into an inescapable cage. We will gaze up at a ring of debris surrounding us, not a crown of glory, but a testament to technological suicide. The truth is, the beauty we admire is merely a glitch in time. In 100 million years, as the old rings fade into oblivion, Saturn will lure its next victims, Enceladus, Mimas, into the Roche trap to recycle a brand new set of rings. The universe does not operate to maintain stability. It thrives on the recycling of destruction. Saturn will remain there, cannibalizing its children to sustain its hollow splendor. As for us, will we learn the lesson written in those fragments before we finish locking the door to the stars?